Top stories this afternoon on the news at 3. President Tinubu appoints 3 executive commissioners for Nigeria's petroleum regulator. Bayelsa 2023, no vote will be recorded for polling units with violence, says INEC. Plus, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission produces Godwin Emefiele for hearing of his bail request. A very good afternoon. Welcome to RSTV News at 3. I am Akilachi KJ. Do you love and care about Rivers State and her peace? If yes, let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must all accomplish. And now the news in detail. Chairman Governing Council and Pro-Chancellor Rivers State University, Justice Iche Undu, retired, has attributed the successes recorded within 8 years of his tenure to the unwavering support from the management and students of the institution. Justice Iche Undu said this during a press briefing on the upcoming presentation of his book, Law and Society, a compendium of speeches and addresses delivered during his 8-year tenure as Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of the Governing Council of the Rivers State University. Obiandru Madame tells us more.
According to Justice Ichendu, the speeches and addresses cover a wide range of topics related to law, society and role of education in shaping the future of the society, as they reflect his commitment to fostering academic excellence and promoting the values of justice, equity and social progress. The former Chief Judge of the state also said that the book is not only a compendium of his speeches and addresses, but a collection of his speeches and addresses as Chief Judge of Rivers State from 1st November 2001 to 19th of August 2013, which is a representation of his stewardship in public service of 2 decades.
In this compendium, you will find discussions and solutions on critical issues such as legal reforms, human rights, access to justice, and provision of educational facilities and policies.
He reiterated that as Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of the Council, his administration have made significant strides in improving the infrastructural landscape of the university, enhancing the quality of education, and fostering a conducive learning environment for students. He commended the immediate past governor of the state and minister of FCT, Nyesomeze Nwawike, on the overwhelming support given to the institution while as governor of the state, and as well appreciates the contribution of the state governor, Sinalai Fubara, for sustaining and consolidating on the continuity mantra of the present administration. He said he hopes that the book of nearly 500 pages will serve as a source of inspiration for future generation of scholars and leaders, adding that the book presentation will be made public on Friday, 10th November 2023 in the Senate Auditorium of the university.
With the support of Rivers State government, we embarked on massive manpower plans of academic and non-academic staff and technicians. We employed a very significant number of professors, readers, senior lecturers, lecturers 1, lecturers 2, assistant lecturers, and graduate assistants in all faculties and colleges.
In his remarks, the Vice-Chancellor of the University, Professor Onleru Mokobule, said he is short of words to describe the capacity the Pro-Chancellor is made of, adding that the achievements recorded under his administration is unprecedented and cannot be overemphasized.
Because of the very cordial relationship that he has with the leadership of Rivers State government, the university has been able to attract a number of physical projects that has brought this university to the limelight in several areas.
The presentation of the book, Law and Society, a compendium of speeches and addresses of Justice Ichendu, retired, will mark the end of his tenure and celebrate the achievements at Rivers State University. Obiandru Madame, RSTV News.
Management of Rivers State Television has reiterated its determination to partner with individuals and organizations with core values to promote peace, unity and development of the state. Head of station Fingesi Onisoya made the remarks while playing host to principal officers of the Rivers State Peace Musical Band International, who were on a courtesy visit to the management. Godspar Neely was there.
Appreciating the efforts of members of the State Peace Musical Band International for their inspiration in composing the true position of Rivers State as peaceful for habitation and safe for investors into music, Mr. Onisoya expressed satisfaction with the message conveyed. He revealed that Rivers State Television deems it fit to partner organizations with good intention to support the vision and mission of the station by promoting the state's good policies and programs. The head of station, however, promised the musical band of the station's readiness to support their projects.
We appreciate the efforts being made by His Excellency Governor Siminalayi Fubara to ensuring that there is peace, progress, and by extension, development of the state. That is actually the objective of RSTV. You know that we are a state-owned institution, and ours is to ensure that we support the vision of the state to ensure the realization, the fruition of those objectives. Yes. And so when we see a group of persons like you, very responsible people who come together and say, let us work with the state to ensure that the state is progressing appreciably, that is very commendable.
Leader, Rivers State Peace Musical Band International, Comrade John Nwokorie, fondly called Mr. Jabest, explained that the vision for the visit was to partner Rivers State Television since they have affiliation with the state and its development. He frowned at those who stuck in trade are to demarcate the state for selfish interests, assuring that the musical band will stop at nothing to use their instrument to correct the wrong narrative created by enemies of the state, adding that the message of peace and hospitality the state is known for will continue to speak for it. Comrade Nwokorie declared that the present administration is on the path of developing the state and expressed joy for the courage the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, to apologize to the people of Rivers State over the recent political upheaval, which shows maturity and good governance.
We are here to discourage anybody or group of persons demarcating Rivers State for any selfish interest. We are trying to visit the 36 states of the federation of this country to tell them that, look, what you hear from some of our people is not correct. That come down to Rivers State and see things for yourself, that here is actually safe for investors.
What will market Rivers State first is the media cycle, which I think I have all the captains in my front here today. So I think I will urge all of you to continue the positive work you've been doing.
The leader of delegation, however, presented a musical video composed by the group depicting how peaceful and safe the state is for habitation and investment. Take a watch.
Security there, yeah. Peace and love. Investors are welcome. Peace and love. Consolidated. Peace and love.
Godspar Anele, RSTV News.
And now on election matters, Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) says it won't count votes in any polling unit where violence occurs in Saturday's governorship election in Bayelsa State. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu said this in Yenegua, Bayelsa State capital, at a meeting with candidates, political parties and others playing critical roles in the forthcoming 11 November governorship election in the state. Professor Yakubu, represented by the INEC National Commissioner supervising the Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa and Rivers States, May Agbamuche Mbu, said INEC will deploy BVAS machines to all polling units for the election. Similarly, the INEC chairman said it has deployed 9 additional resident electoral commissioners (REC) in Imo State for Saturday's governorship poll. Professor Yakubu, represented by a national commissioner in charge of the Southeast, Kenneth Ukeagu, said the RECs were drawn from Cross Rivers, Niger, Plateau, Bauchi, Oyo, Katsina, Gombe and Yobe states, while the administrative secretary of the commission in Ekiti was deployed to provide supervisory support at the local government level. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of 3 new executive commissioners to serve in the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC) and the redeployment of 1 current executive commissioner pending their confirmation by the Nigerian Senate. The statements by the Special Advisor to the President, Media and Publicity, Ajurin Galali, said Bashir Indabawa, Northwest Executive Commissioner, Exploration and Acreage Management. Kelechi Ofegbu, Southeast Executive Commissioner, Corporate Services and Administration. Enorense at Amadashu, South-South Executive Commissioner, Deployment and Production, and Babajide Fashina, Southwest Executive Commissioner, Economic Regulation and Strategic Planning. The President approves this reshuffling and replacement based on his deeply informed assessment of all factors concerning this sector, with a view to establishing a regulatory framework and culture that comprehensively disincentivizes errant behavior and incentivizes diligence and rules-based business practice across the industry. The presidency has disclosed that President Bola Tinubu's administration is working on policies that will strengthen the Naira. Special Advisor to the President on Economic Matters, Dr. Tokpe Fashua, disclosed this at the Cowries to Cash lecture and lunch in Abuja. There has been steady rise in the value of the Naira in the past few days, and Fashua said it is expected to continue as a result of policies being implemented by the government. He cautioned Nigerians hoarding foreign currencies with hope that the local currency will continue to fall, to desist from such. Senate has mandated its Committee on Establishment and Public Service Matters to investigate alleged lopsided recruitment into the Federal Civil Service. The resolution of the Red Chamber followed its consideration and adoption of a motion titled Urgent Need to Ensure Federal Character Principle, Curb Lopsidedness and Emerging Infractions in the Recruitment and Deployment of Officers by the Federal Civil Service Commission and related agencies, sponsored by Senator Titus Zam. In his lead debate, Senator Zam noted that the Federal Civil Service Commission was established with the responsibilities of recruitment and deployment of officers with requisite qualifications into the Federal Civil Service. The senator said the major plank on which the commission realizes its vision of building a highly focused, disciplined, committed and patriotic civil service is the advertisement of vacancies for the ultimate and equitable recruitment of applicants into the service. And now on security matters, House of Representatives Committee on Army has pledged its commitment to place the Nigerian Army on a pedestal to tackle insecurity facing the country. Chairman Honorable Abdullahi Mahmudu stated this at the committee's inauguration and joined members to give maximum cooperation for the objectives to be achieved. According to him, the committee has developed a 4-year work plan that will be judiciously followed within specific periods in order to achieve its mandate. Also, Chairman of the House Committee on Police Affairs, Honorable Maki Yaleman, urged members of committee to work hard to address insecurity beyond the expectations of Nigerians. Honorable Yaleman, who made the call at the inaugural meeting of the committee, said members have been empowered by constituents and entrusted by the Speaker to oversee key issues relating to policing and law enforcement. Do you love and care about Rev Estate and her peace? If yes, let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must all accomplish. Now time for a short break, but still to come on the news at 3. Burkina Faso, Russia discuss military cooperation. Portuguese Prime Minister Antonio Costa resigns over corruption scandal. And in sports, Oliver Giroud sinks PSG to reignite AC Milan's Champions League bid. We'll be back in a moment with details of these and more stories. Stay tuned.
I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. I'ma keep winning till the keep up with me. Come on, let's go. I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. Independent women, come on, now let's get it. I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. Africa, you feel me? Come on, now let's get it.
New styles from Darling. Find your beautiful.
This is RSTV World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining, balanced analysis. RSTV, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
Welcome back. You're still watching RSTV News at 3. Academic Staff Union of Universities and the Committee of Vice Chancellors of Nigerian Universities have described the plan by the federal government to automatically deduct 40% from the internally generated revenue of universities in the country as an attack on the university system. The federal government, in a letter dated October 7, 2023, entitled Implementation of 40% Automatic Deduction from Internally Generated Revenue of Partially Funded Federal Government Institutions, said it will begin the deduction with effect from November 2023. However, the National President ASU, Professor Emmanuel Oshodeke, insisted that federal government's decision was disheartening, saying universities were not generating any revenue from the user charges and service fees they gave students, arguing it was surprising that the federal government still wanted to collect from the subsidized charges on hostel accommodation, lab coats, etc. for students. The Secretary General, Committee of Vice Chancellors of Nigerian Universities, Professor Yakubu Ochefu, revealed that the amount deducted by the federal government from universities was 25%, but was increased to 40% recently. Professor Oshodeke called on parents, students, and Nigerians as a whole to rise against what he described as an attack against schools, adding that ASU would also meet with the federal government agencies in charge of the policy to take the next line of action. And now, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has produced the detained former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN), Godwin Emefiele, before an Abuja High Court sitting at Maitama. Justice Olukayode Adeniyi had, in a ruling on November 2, ordered the anti-graft agency to either release the erstwhile boss of the Apex Bank, who has been in detention since June 9, unconditionally, or produce him in court to be granted bail. But the agency failed to comply with the order when the matter came up for hearing last Monday. Emefiele's lawyer, Matthew Borka, had complained to the court that EFCC flouted both orders and bemoaned that the agency spurned the directive of the court, even though it was promptly served with the order. However, the EFCC, through its lawyer Farouk Abdallah, confirmed that it received the court order, insisting that, contrary to the claim of the applicant's counsel, Emefiele has not been in its custody for over 100 days. Not satisfied with the response, Justice Adeniyi asked the EFCC lawyer to explain to the court if the absence of the exhibit was sufficient reason for the commission to disobey an order of the court. Responding, Abdullah said the anti-graft agency misunderstood the court order. Before the case was adjourned till today, Justice Adeniyi directed Emefiele's lawyer to serve the requested exhibit on the EFCC. Emefiele had, in an ex parte motion filed before the court, sought an order to compel the EFCC to release him from custody pending the determination of his fundamental right enforcement suit. The Federal Operations Unit, FOU Zone A of the Nigeria Customs Service, NCS, has impounded 13 trailer load of imported foreign rice, 17 vehicles, Indian hemp and other items with duty paid value worth 1.2 billion naira. Acting Controller of the FOU Zone A, Hussein Ejibunu, who disclosed this at a press briefing in Lagos, said that in its continuous quest to prevent revenue loss through various infractions such as undervaluation, underpayment and wrong classification, the sum of 115.4 million naira was collected by the unit through issuance of demand notices to defaulters. Given a breakdown of the seized items, he said they were able to seize a total of 7,381 units of 50 kg foreign parboiled rice from smugglers. This amounts to almost 13 trailer loads of rice. A total of 17 vehicles were also seized from smugglers who wanted to circumvent the law by evading duty payment. He said they have safely disposed of them in line with laid down due process because of the volatility of the product. Other seized items include 657 pieces of used tires, 167, which is 202 kg parcels of Indian hemp, 39 bales of second-hand clothing, 100 packs of tomato ketchup, 4 units of used motorcycles, 600 cartons of GIV soap, and 730 sacks of hide and skin, hidden in a 1x40 container equivalent to 5,033 pieces. And now on the foreign scene, the Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs of Burkina Faso, Kassoum Koulibaly, was in Moscow to meet with the defense minister of the Russian Federation, and they agreed to strengthen defense ties. Burkina's military rulers have been looking to diversify the country's international allies. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu said Russian-Burkina relations are based solely on the principles of mutual respect and consideration of each other's interests, and in recent years they have acquired positive dynamics. Burkinabe Kassoum Koulibaly hailed undergoing negotiations with Russia and called them a real practical phase. Reports say Koulibaly had hosted Russia's Vice Minister of Defense, Yunus Ekorov, in Ouagadougou, where both men held working meetings with the aim of strengthening the skills and capabilities of the National Armed Forces. They also touched on cooperation in the operational, economic, logistical, technological, and training fields. And still on the foreign scene, the trial in the adulterated syrups affair, which caused the death of children last year in Gambia, has resumed before the Banjul High Court. Families of the victims grouped within the AKI Association are awaiting convictions at the end of this trial, which was delayed in July and then postponed in October after the 5 defendants did not attend the hearing. Some 70 children aged 5 and under died in 2022 from kidney failure after taking the over-the-counter medicines. 19 plaintiffs are suing 5 defendants, company Maiden Pharmaceuticals, local distributor Atlantic Pharmaceuticals, the Medical Controls Agency, the Ministry of Health, and Attorney General Dauda A. Jallo to demand that they admit that the children were killed by consuming contaminated medicines. Reports say the Maiden Pharmaceuticals has denied the allegations, while government task force in the Gambia announced its finding that 4 cough syrups imported from India were responsible for the deaths. The Gambian government also said it was exploring options to take legal action against the Indian manufacturer. According to the World Health Organization (WHO), lab tests found unacceptable amounts of diethylene glycol and ethylene glycol, which are commonly used as antifreeze and can be fatal when ingested. South Africa's International Relations and Cooperation Minister Naledi Pandor has called for ceasefire in the Gaza war as she addressed the National Assembly. During her address to members of Parliament on Israel's war with Hamas, the official also rebutted accusations of alleged bias in favor of Hamas, that it is untrue that South Africa has not criticized Hamas or its breach of international human rights law. This came a day after Pretoria recalled its diplomatic mission to Israel. The minister also called for the International Criminal Court to hold Israel accountable for violations on international criminal law as it pursues its ground offensive and airstrikes on Gaza. She further stated that the Israeli operation launched in response to the attack has so far killed over 10,000 people in Gaza. 40% of these victims are children. Portuguese Prime Minister Antonio Costa says he's resigning after being involved in a widespread corruption probe. The Public Prosecutor's Office announced in a statement that it was investigating Costa and several members of his cabinet for alleged crimes of prevarication, active and passive corruption, and influence peddling. Portuguese President Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa has accepted Costa's resignation. He's expected to dissolve Parliament and call for a new election. The investigation, in which more than 40 locations have been searched, focuses on lithium mining concessions in the Romano and Barroso mines in the north of the country, as well as a project for a hydrogen energy production plant. The 62-year-old Costa, Portugal's socialist leader since 2015, had looked set to remain in power for several years after his socialists scored a landslide victory in elections last year. But in December 2022, his infrastructure and housing minister was forced to quit amid an outcry over a 500,000 euro compensation made to a board member of state-owned flag carrier TAP Air Portugal. And now for entertainment, popular Nigerian artist Burna Boy 2022 single Last Last receives a diamond certification in France. Elizabeth Benjamin has more on this and other entertainment stories.
Burna Boy is one of the artists who is at the forefront of taking African music to listeners around the world through another landmark feat. This was revealed in a post on Snippet's Instagram page after the single reached the 50 million streams mark in the country. Last was released in 2022 as one of the lead singles of Burna Boy's Grammy-nominated 6th album, Love Damini.
Young cast, last, now everybody go to breakfast. You go bow for the result, though. Nothing to discuss, oh. Cause I did win by default and without any doubt, though. I'm a me happy adult, though.
Funke Akindele launches FAAN 360 Film Production House, an official launch after 2 projects that have become the talk of the town. Funke Akindele launches Film Production House in a post on Instagram and shared the news of the official start of the Funke Akindele network, further revealing that the company would be in charge of all-round dealings as regards film productions, thereby describing it as a 360 media house in her words. Nigeria veteran actor Emeka Ike is set to star in highly anticipated theatrical project Malaika. Going back to the early 20s, Ike rocked our screens in notable Nollywood titles like A Million Tears, Snake Girl, and Not Man Enough. And now, after a long time away, he returns with a new title set to unravel an intriguing story. Malaika is scheduled to make its theatrical debut on December 22, 2023 across cinemas nationwide. Elizabeth Benjamin, RSTV Entertainment News.
And in sport, Olivier Giroud fired AC Milan back into Champions League contention with a decisive goal in Tuesday's 2-1 win over Paris Saint-Germain. France striker Giroud thumped home a trademark header 4 minutes after the break at a pulsating San Siro to reignite Milan's chances of reaching the last 16 and turn around a dreadful recent run of form. Stefano Pioli's team started the day bottom of Group F, but are now well in contention for the knockout stages, third on 5 points and just one behind PSG, who occupy the second qualification spot. Tuesday's win was revenge for a 3-0 hammering in Paris a fortnight ago and came with Milan's first goals in the competition this season. The hugely impressive Rafael Leao drawing the host level in the 12th minute after former Inter Milan defender Milan Skriniar had nodded PSG into an early lead. Giroud's winner was his 7th goal of the season in all competitions, and there was a French flavour to the finish, which downed League One champions PSG, Theo Hernandez supplying the pinpoint cross from which his Le Bleu teammate netted. Milan next host group leaders Borussia Dortmund, who took top spot by 1 point from PSG with their 2-0 Newcastle United in a match which could well be crucial to their chances of getting out of the group. And with that sports story, we come to the end of the News at 3 bulletin. Do you love and care about Rev Estate and her peace? If yes, let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must all accomplish. Thank you for joining us. I'm Akilachi Kije. Good afternoon.